Episode 4, Mark 3. The third timeline, so to speak. Twice before I've made an episode 4 and FRAPS screwed it up. Failed to record audio, just like I predicted. And not only did it do that, it did it twice in a row. I'm quite cheesed off about that. I feel betrayed. Go ahead and buy this. Sell him that. If FRAPS fails me one more time, then I will retire it in the Blade Runner sense of the word and get my mitts on OBS or some such thing. I'll just delete these, keeping failsafe hard save 1D. I'll save over that, and I'll painfully delete all of these. These are from 2 deleted timelines, so to speak. Both ended up really well. Very eventful. I won't describe all the nitty-gritty details, but by the end of the first version, episode 4, Mark 1, I had over 100,000 rubes. Yeah, I'm calling them rubes now. And a goodwill score of 600 with duty. And not only that, but I acquired a Stetchkin APS machine pistol from a bandit in Garbage. Not only that, but I successfully sneaky breakied 2 bandits in Garbage in broad daylight. One with McGlock and one with McCrink. One after the other, in sequence. So by the end of episode 4, Mark 1, I guess I was somewhat economically and socially successful. Episode 4, Mark 2, I did something different. I was so severely cheesed off about having to, I could have just gone ahead and done something with the footage, made it the official episode 4, and maybe did commentary over it after the fact, which isn't my preference. Obviously, I chose something other than that. With episode 4, Mark 2, I thought maybe I could reward myself with an M203. That would make up for such a loss. I've never had FRAPS screw me over twice in a row before. That's never happened. That's unprecedented. Twice in a row. I didn't even know that was possible. I'm going to be stewing about that this whole episode. And who knows, maybe the audio is not even recording right now. In which case there's going to be a fourth timeline. Something tells me there's going to end up being a fourth timeline anyway. I can't believe we're this far into the 21st century. We live in a timeline in which AI exists. And yet, something as simple as gameplay recording software can't be bothered to work right and function consistently and reliably. Then again, I have been using the same thing since 2008. Maybe I should try something new, different, and better. Well, what makes it better? Is it because it's new and different from what I've already got? Is that what makes it better? Or does does the it in question, whatever it might be, is it more consistent, more reliable? That's how I would define the concept of better. At any rate, I'm so pissed off right now, I just want to go take it out on something. Monolith goons or bandits, or even a chimera or a pseudo-giant. In episode 4, Mark 2, I went to the Red Forest. I trottled into the Red Forest, hoping to score an M203. This was my gear. Naturally, I died a whole bunch of times, but I did manage to eliminate 8 members of Sin back in the mines, or catacombs. At least 10 monolith goons, a pseudo-giant, and a chimera. The pseudo-giant was in the woods part of the Red Forest, the literal forest part of the Red Forest. And I noticed that it didn't want to leave the forest. So every time it started trampling its way toward me, I would back out of the woods. And it wouldn't follow me all the way out of the woods. So I ran in there. It did its pseudo stomp, which sent a G36K flying away before I could get it. I ran around it in sort of a semicircle. Came across 2 mercs deeper in the woods. And they kept going on their merry way. They encountered the pseudo-giant and tried to fight it. They failed. They were under-equipped. It destroyed both of them to death. And I did manage to take their stuff. And then the pseudo-giant trottled into an electro and wounded itself. It started doing its wounded crawl. So I knew I had a chance against it. And I ended up taking it out with an RGD-5 grenade. I tossed 2. I tossed 2. 1 was enough. I didn't know 1 was going to be enough. So I tossed the second one before the first one exploded. Anyway, it did the job. I scored, I think it was 2 eyeballs and a hand. Not long after that, I encountered a chimera. And I fought it with my crank. And it worked. It took more than a mag, but it did the job. And I didn't die to the pseudo-giant or the chimera, not even once. I died a whole bunch of times to monolith goons and sin goons. But I stuck to it, and eventually I prevailed. It took everything I had. Almost all of my ammo. Especially my 5.45. This crank in Anomaly is better than it has any right to be. Don't get me wrong. I'll take that. I'd take that over the opposite extreme. It's not that great IRL, but certainly better than how it's portrayed in Shadow of Chernobyl. Well, that wasn't too long. So what should I do in this, the third timeline? Episode 4, Mark 3. Should I try to become economically successful, socially successful, or should I try to become a successful adventurer? I scored a lot of good loot. Jump! I'm pressing jump. Everything's gonna piss me off now. I'm back in that irritable frame of mind I thought I had gotten myself out of. Awful neutral. Lawful neutral is a frightening alignment. In some ways, lawful neutral is more disturbing than lawful evil. At least lawful evil has an ethos. What sort of ethos could lawful neutral claim to have? Oh, I should be asking those dutiers for tasks. This time I remember to bring my LR 300 ML. ML stands for Military and Law Enforcement. That's the name given to the shorty version, I think. Don't quote me on that. That could be the name given to the select fire version, regardless of barrel length.
Как жизнь? Время дорого. Рассказывай.
Truth be told, I kind of want to build up my reputation with freedom more so than duty, only because Skinflint sells the M203 once you have a goodwill score of 1,000, I think. That's something that irritates me. Watch as I try to double click. See that? I wanted to double click on this, but the scroll bar for whatever reason thought it was smarter than me, when obviously it's not. I know what it is I'm trying to do. And even if I don't, just go ahead and let me make a mistake. Double Foxtrot Sierra. If General Voronin is offering a mission for 7 bandit patches, I'll go ahead and do it.
Ну?
8 monolith patches. The previous 2 timelines he asked for 7 bandit patches. Calling it right now, this Episode 4, Mark 3, aka the third timeline.
Какие новости?
However, it turns out it's probably not going to be as interesting or just generally probably not as good
Сейчас я вам сыграю.
as the other two timelines. But the audio is going to record. Or alternatively, the audio will fail to record yet again. And the end result of the episode will be eventful.
Чего расскажешь хорошего?
It's already less eventful because of the lack of
Спокойно. Чем
job
могу помочь, Сталкер?
opportunities. Job opportunities for someone trying to play the game the way I'm trying to play it, that is. Remember, I'm trying to not be a jerkweed. If I wanted to be a jerkweed, I could take, say that, well, I could take the mercenary assassination job, the Merc assassination job, anything to deliver. Lemansk, too far. Narc. Sparks. I remember playing Narc, but it was spelled with a C. The arcade one and the Nintendo one.
Проходи, не задерживайся.
Dumpling.
Тебе сюда нельзя.
Спокойно. Чем могу помочь, Сталкер? Как она?
I have enough food and beverages, and he's not selling Nemiroff, or rather, I should say he hasn't resupplied.
Давай,
Слушаю тебя.
Да ты рассказывай, с чем пришел.
Don't feel like doing that RF receiver stuff. Where were you headed to? Grouse?
Пожрать ничего хорошего.
One of these. If you're just going to say the truck cemetery, I can take you there.
Да. Тут крути, не
I don't
крути,
remember.
маракуй, не маракуй. А
I'll
всё
do a
равно
hard
будет
save.
так, как командиры скажут.
First, I'll see if anyone else is offering
Какие новости, Сталкер?
anything that's more my style. All right.
Над смыслом не задумываюсь. Есть поставленный.
I'll make a hard save
Задача.
and a
Выполнение.
quick save.
Нормально. Вот тебе и...
South of the tunnel.
Слышали? Глубоко в зоне спать нельзя.
случаются такие кошмары, что можно и не проснуться. Кто-то от разрыва сердца во сне.
Screw that noise.
Кто просто крыша поедет.
Подходи, сталкер. Для таких, как ты, у меня всегда есть кое-что интересное.
No interesting jobs. This is agroprom, right? That looks like agroprom. Yep. Corden. I tried a 027R pill to get that, and then a bunch of pseudo dogs or no, psi dogs, not sea dogs, psi dogs showed up, or maybe it was just one psi dog and a bunch of its imaginary clones, and got in my way. It jumped over a wall and just totally screwed me over. So I didn't really have a chance to see if the 027R pill was actually working. It was inconclusive. Alright, so agroprom and then Corden. Maybe I'll luck out and pick up an interdiction mission for duty for the elimination of bandits over in Garbage. Give me a chance to do some damage. No. I don't philosophically agree with those who conflate liberty with licentiousness. But I'd rather simply debate them. I'm not interested in roughing them up. Especially not in a place like the Zone, where the environs around these parts simply don't care about anyone's philosophy. I'm talking to you. He's not ignoring me because of my rank. This is just something that NPCs do. The classic duty exoskeleton. Most of these guys don't want to talk. I seem to recall finding one of these. High capacity magazine set. You know what? I'll do it. Even if I don't already have one. Those are not hugely rare. I guess I didn't have one, at least not. Maybe I stashed it someplace else. Or maybe I'm recalling memories from a different timeline. Oh well, screw it. You make decisions and you live with them. I have half a mind to reload the hard save I made, ending with 1E. Partially because that would reset the missions being offered by some of these NPCs, not by all of them. General Veronin asking for 8 monolith patches kind of makes me feel like going to the Red Forest like in Timeline Mark II, or the second timeline. I came back from that with an AK-102. Technically, I found 2 of those. I found a whole bunch of weapons of the kind that I would normally use, but can't use as a dedicated recon scout. I found an AK-101 with a camo finish, the best version of the AK-101 you can get in standard issue Anomaly 151. I also found a Saiga 12, a Vepr 12, and a US AS-12. And the monolith heavy trooper who was wielding that was the one who was killing me most often. I took him out with an RGD-5 grenade, followed by a burst from my Krink while he was keeled over, or while he was in the process of keeling over. If I recall. I've got to get myself back in a positive frame of mind. I can't let myself get demotivated, because then the zone becomes like the swamps of sadness from the never-ending story. And I still need to go to the swamps of sadness. I could do that with my current gear. I could, but I'm not gonna, because I still feel like a hobo. Hobo with a Krinkov. But, like I said before, the Krinkov isn't bad in this mod. I should have sold this to any technician. Oh, he doesn't have any. I should have bought some 545. Mercs. There's maybe a Merc will have an M203. Oh, a sound suppressor. Okay. I have something to feel glad about. Were there any more? Oh. My favorite 5.56er. Of course, I can't use it as a dedicated recon scout. It's an assaulter's weapon. But it's the overall best 5.56er. And when you have an M203 on it, it has an actual sight. Beretta 92. That's always good. All right. Did that corpse disappear already? No, it didn't. That does on occasion randomly happen. Before you get a chance, like if you stash something on a corpse and you think you're going to go back and retrieve it and then put it in your footlocker or whatnot, and then you find that the corpse has already disappeared. Why don't you just drag it? Well, because that doesn't always work. So that's something I've noticed. This was also true in Oblivion Lost 2010. You could drag corpses early on, but once you've been in the zone for a certain amount of time, you couldn't drag corpses anymore. And I've never understood that. Let's see if I can drag this one. Nope. That's supposed to be an aspect of stealth, too. Because, of course, you have to hide the bodies. I forget whether or not sound suppressors reduce the damage of your weapons. I should have bought some more pistol ammo. I'm not thinking clearly because I'm cheesed off. Galloping pig lump. In Stalker 2, oink oink fleshy piggies have evolved from galloping pig lumps into leaping potato pigs. Now I can take all this stuff apart and sell the parts. Nocturnal predator. But it's daytime. Don't you mean diurnal? Parts must have been harvested already. How many bolts do I have? More than I need. For now, I'll carry 25 plus 1, so it's 26. Until I have 21 of these. Then I'll carry 20 bolts plus 1. That way I have 21 of each for a total of 42 throwy things. In my head, 42 is always a reference to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Good helmet. A good gas... not really a good gas mask. Heavy, kind of heavy. And not very good capabilities. Altoids. I actually have a little Altoid box right here, but it's empty. I've been meaning to repurpose it. Put little miscellaneous things in it. No bandits. In the first timeline, I cheeky-breekied a bandit right there by sneaking under that concrete block and shooting up at him with my Glock. And then there was another one over there who didn't hear that ruckus. I stood up and took him out with one burst from my Krink. Neither my Glock nor my Krink were suppressed. But now I have a sound suppressor, so I'm glad I didn't buy one. I was confident that I'd find one eventually. If I recall, this should be down by the military base. Something else that worked out great with the first timeline was I picked up a package delivery mission in Rostock to deliver some package from a duty guy to a soldier at that base over there, or over wherever. Not that one over there, but that one over yonder. Slark. Power my way through it. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. I couldn't see the Electro. I hate snorks in Anomaly. They're Call of Pripyat snorks, not Shadow of Chernobyl snorks. Which means they move around erratically. They glide across the ground like they're not even existing in the same dimension as the world around them. Headshots don't seem to matter. And they're not physically tough or physically resilient, so you can just kill them by shooting them enough times with any gun. If you're using anything other than a shotgun loaded with buckshot, then full auto should do just fine. So there's no sport to hunting them. They're just an annoyance. I hear snorks. Is that what you hear too? There's that scientific exosuit that the player can't get. I'll let him deal with it. Those things can't even hurt you with the armor you're wearing. Just actively trample upon them. Should be able to take them both out with not even a mag's worth of rounds. If you make your shots count. Spoils for both of us. You wasted too many shots. M16A4 with a sound suppressor, a NATO suppressor. I need to go this way. Electros spend an awful lot of time not being visible. I wonder if there are lots of stashes around here. Ah. 556 AP. Psystorm. Not Sea Storm, Psystorm. Oh, mutants. Do mutants hide during storms? Depends on what kind of storm. Controllers might not hide during the psi storms. Maybe they get powered up by them. Does anyone know for sure? Professors Sakharov or Herman might know the answer to that question. Trying to save my stamina. The first timeline, one of these guys, I came here with a package, I turned that in, and then I got this, and it was just, things lined up so well. Oh, and this. That'll help me increase my goodwill score with any faction whose medic I turn that into, which I'm thinking should probably be duty. I'm thinking I'll go for a duty PSZ-10I Forest Battlesuit. I think that's its full name. I'll just call it a Forest Battlesuit. That's a ways off, though. A ways off. Or is it way off? Everything's looking good. Don't save over don't save over failsafe, hard save 1D, but do save over 1E. It was painful for me to delete the remnants of those timelines. Does anyone have anything to deliver? Not interested in RF receiver missions.
Мое дело стрелять. А насчет поговорить, это к командиру. Прорвемся. Куда мы денемся? Хрен этим тварям, а не наши шкуры. Лишь бы автомат не клинил. Да патронов хватило. А так прорвемся.
8118.
Скукотища зеленая. С вопросами, командиру.
Well, it's kind of tempting for me to get that guy to follow me into Cordon, so that he'll get into a scuffle with stalkers. But that's not a very lawful good thing to do. That's more... What would that be? True neutral? I'm not guaranteeing that I won't on occasion lapse into that sort of thing, that sort of behavior. I can't guarantee that I'm going to maintain a lawful good ethos. I see you. This region, this specific region of Agroprom takes me back. Always have to remind myself. Every morning, equip Geiger counter. Every evening, equip flashlight. Such a slog. I wonder what sorts of beast creatures live in there. I'd like to get my mitts on a camelback. Stamina boosters work best when you're able to equip at least 2 of them of any kind. I forget if there's a junction that connects Agroprom with Cordon. I don't think there is, though there is one that connects Agroprom with Yantar. I'm just going to go to Cordon the classic way. Through garbage. Any more items? MacGyver's Lego set, so to speak. I used to have a MacGyver mullet when I was a preteen in the early 90s. And a brown bomber jacket to complete the look. And I often wore acid wash or stonewash jeans with a contrasting jean jacket. I'll go ahead and take these. And white high tops with the tongues out, which was the style at the time. But not just plain white high tops, they were white high tops with red soles, red outsoles, and red details. Why do I remember that? Yeah, because I have the memory of an elephant and a mind for detail. As obsessive people typically do. Doom Dog. Flesh Pig. It's a pig face flesh pig. Similar to the ones from Misery. I like how this mod has lots of different types of fleshy pigs. Piggy fleshes. Some of us old school zoners, and it might have been me who started this way back in the day. We started calling them flesh pigs just to remind ourselves that they're pigs. Because just by looking at them, you wouldn't guess that they're pigs. They look more like, almost like a human spliced with a mite. Or a maggot or something. How delightfully Trauma. And or Cronenberg. Trauma and Cronenberg, you can tell I wear my influences on my sleeve. Of Demented Doom a go-go. As demented as the Toxic Avenger is, Street Trash is even dementeder. The original Street Trash from 1987. 1987 was a great year for movies. Looks like a sinkhole collapsed. and buried the remnants of, what is that, a Kamaz? Not that, obviously, but that in there. You can spawn vehicles in this mod. And if I recall, they handle better than they do in Lost Alpha. More comparable to what vehicles are like in Oblivion Lost. I've only ever played 2 versions of Oblivion Lost. 2.2 and 2010. I don't know what any of the newer versions are like. Do they have vehicles? Do they have a debug mode with a spawn menu? Or do they have a spawn mod or spawn menu like Atlas Spawn spliced with them? Like Oblivion Lost 2010 did. Oblivion Lost 2010 was a mod pack, and that's part of what it included. This fake footlocker. Why is that even there if you can't use it? Is this the first time I'm going to Corden in this timeline? Yes. Now that I have memories from different timelines, I'm going to be getting confused more often. Confused about where I've already gone and what I've already done.
Оружие за спину.
See?
Чего тебе?
Muzzle down wasn't good enough for him. Gotta have your weapon completely down. Or completely put away. I remember there's a radiation field here in Corden. Right here close to where I am.
Здоров.
You'll stop to look me practically in the face, but you won't talk to me. Feels weird just now being here in Corden for the first time. Having been in the zone for however many hours. Hours in real world time, days in zone time. I always feel the need to specify what I mean, because sometimes when I hear myself say something out loud, I realize it can be interpreted 2 or more different ways. I don't want to mess with dogs. I'm tired of dogs. Ankle biter. Screw it. Yeah, my patience is gone. My willingness to tolerate bullshit is gone. After having lost all that. I didn't really lose progress, but FRAPS betraying me twice in a row, I'm not going to put up with the game's bullshit on top of FRAPS's bullshit. So yeah, zero tolerance. Oh, I can slip by that. The fence allows me enough room. Having to putz around with bitchy little shit just really grinds my gears. Those dogs weren't doing a whole lot of damage to me, proving that this armor is decent. And I have this. This doesn't add rupture protection. There's a gray one that does. I know it's just a Toscano. You could get jerry cans as items and fuel drums and whatnot in Oblivion Lost 2010. What's going on with you? I didn't shoot the sheriff or the deputy. FEMA footballer. Shurek sheriff. Well, we've got the alliteration going on up in here. Well, not with you. You've got an AKM. Always a good choice. You have a suppressed Krink just like mine, even to the point that it has the same kind of brown polyamide magazine, and you've got an SKS. Trade that in for a Type 63 the first chance you get. funny place to find such high-tier armor. I mean ammo. Why'd I say armor? Because they both start with A. I do that sometimes, get words mixed up, usually based on if there's alliteration going on. The more anxious and or irritable I feel, the more I get that way. That one appeared to take 1 extra strike, but what actually happened was 7 kilograms. And another one of these. There was an extra plank of wood.
Что-то поч...
Yeah, that's a reasonable price. Is it worthwhile? Yes!
Извини, если не сильно помог.
Which commands where, I wonder. Oh, I'll just go ahead and sell everything that I'm not using or that I don't intend to use. I don't eat garbage, trash, quality food, anti-quality. That should do. In keeping with the rules that I have established, if I really wanted to, I could buy that LR300. Might keep this. Might keep that one too. Don't need that. Type 63. Kipperus. This pairs well with a Krink. I'm surprised I haven't found one yet. Also, in keeping with the rules that I've established, I could buy either this, or this, or this. I'm tempted to get... Well, first I should see how much it'll cost to fix up the Beretta 92 I found. Hey! He's only selling one of these. And no VOG 25s. Now, should I jaunt over to the rookie village and try to pick up some jobs? I might have to leave some stuff here. That 7 kilogram case, what is that, like 15 or 16 pounds? Closer to 15, right? $17 times 2.2. I mean 7. 7 times 2.2. Carry on, my wayward son. That's got to be a reference to that. It doesn't have to be. But I'm going to pretend that it is. And, should I take the extra time to maybe pick up some extra jobs? Or should I head on back and see if Duty has any extra jobs for me, since I intend to make Duty my primary supplier first, followed by Freedom and or Mercs, whatever. The order of that doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I'm just going to get on back. Let's see what time of day it is. 16:15. Trying not to use fast travel. Might as well make use of my energy drinks. Another one, and another one. Should I take the time? No. I know I can get things like medkits and whatnot off of them, but oh well. Look at the detail in the wood on the forearm and handguard of this Krinkov. Is that an artifact? Yes, it is. See the rads going up and then going back down? It's a dud artifact, but still. That's worth something. Check that footlocker already. In Shadow of Chernobyl, there was a guard tower right here that had, I think, a toolbox in it, which was a stash.
Контракт на 2 года, так? Выслуга
Any
премиальная.
deliveries?
Чего тебе? Вот, накачивали.
Oh,
Нет, мол, ничего хуже сталкеров, ага.
I sold both of my packs of old meat. Why do you want a pack of old meat? I could get you something way better than that. Yeah, I know, it's because it's randomized. Back to garbage. Will there be any mean cats? Doesn't look or sound like it. And the sky has become overcast in that way that's extra boring. Where it's just plain white. Can't have any interesting to look at dynamic clouds, even if they're gray clouds. It's got to be almost plain white. There's a puffy cloud right there, but mostly it's just a plain white sky, tinged with a slight hint of gray, which somehow looks more depressing than if the clouds were thicker and heavier, like what they look like right before rain. If I recall, I just left mostly a bunch of shotguns and jackets in there, and I don't need to. I will break those down eventually, but right now I need to focus on things I can actually use as a dedicated recon scout. I've tested out the pistols, and of all the 9mm Parabellum pistols, the Beretta 92 is one of the best. So I'm thinking I might make that my next pistol.
Слушай, все вопросы к главному.
Oh, you have an RPK. Which kind? Alright, you're just going to keep moving around. Looks like an RPK 74, but the magazine looks black, which could mean that you have a Kipperus.
Вон старший стоит. Так ты к нему обращайся.
I want one of those. Could mean about the RPK 74, the black magazine. What that could mean is simply that in third person it looks different. Just the magazine. Just the color of the magazine. Well, I have enough. I think I have enough energy drinks to get me back. On the other hand, see if yeah.
Неплохо, неплохо. За одну ходку 2 ночные звезды. Если так и дальше пойдет, в гробу я видал ваш хваленый клондайк.
I'll decide later.
Ну, привет.
AK-74, RPK-74,
Слушаю тебя.
Kiparus. What's that? Rustic Noodle. I think he's wearing a bear suit, which has a brown
Братил
color.
старшова.
Wait, escort squad.
Слушай, все вопросы к главному.
Exo suit topped off with a sphere M12 helmet. You don't commonly see that. This might be similar to what Beard might look like when he goes into battle. Blackberry Dr. Pepper. On my duty character, Moose, there's a dead bird on the ground that died from an emission, and it just stays there. Usually they disappear. Well, that didn't take way too long. Now, what decision was I trying to make? Yeah, I wanted to get down below or right at 52 kilograms. Let's see if that saps my stamina. No, but it doesn't do anything good for my stamina, but I think that should do. The GSH-18 is a good pistol, but I think overall the Beretta 92 is better. I seem to recall it being more durable and having a more purposeful full auto conversion. I seem to recall the GSH-18 having a tri-burst mode, which is a third tier upgrade, but with a really slow cyclic rate. Now, if it was able to fire tri-bursts with, and I mean even with the cyclic rate maxed out, with all the fire rate upgrades, it still had a piddly pissant super slow cyclic rate, which defeats the purpose of a burst fire mode with a machine pistol. With a machine pistol, what you really want, if you want to make it purposeful, if you want to elevate it beyond a niche novelty, then don't even bother with full auto. Instead, give it a burst fire mode, either 2 or 3 round burst, that's all you need, and make it hyper burst, with a cyclic rate so fast that a single burst has a recoil impulse comparable to a single shot fired on semi-auto. That might make a machine pistol actually purposeful. In practical, real-world terms, I mean. In video game terms, sure. go full auto, you might as well. Because the absence of a stock doesn't really affect its controllability the same way it does in real life. It only does in a video game in a mathematical sense. If the programmer decides to make the presence or absence of a stock have a bearing on controllability, handling characteristics. I like it when the sky takes on that lavender color. Now, do I turn this drug-making kit into Duty's medic? I could do that. Yeah, I might do things a bit differently. Oh, and he's got... I should go offload stuff before I...
Подходи, сталкер. Для таких, как ты, у меня всегда...
Splurge. Is it really a splurge, though? Because I'm stocking up on Nemirov vodka for a purposeful reason. I'll stash the cell. Try to remember to take that back to Yantar with me. What do Altoids do? I forget. I don't commonly use them. Well, they have anti-rad properties somehow, so maybe I'll keep it on me. Now I have a decision to make. Who gets this? And who gets this? Because Freedom, Skinflint, sells the M203, which is something I really want. On the other hand, Duty sells the Forest Battlesuit, which is something I really want. And I already have a goodwill score of 400 with Duty. But I don't know if there's a Duty guy who accepts these, because I don't think Magnum Mangun does.
О, привет!
No, he doesn't. Barkeep does.
Бай!
I think the most strategically viable option would be to split the diff. Duty gets this. Freedom gets this. Ah. I meant to see if
Ты рассказывай, с чем пришел.
how much it would cost to get this fixed. That's a good chunk of change. Pay dirt. Duty and clear sky. I forget what kind of grenade launcher the Clear Sky Trader sells once you have a goodwill score of 1,000.
Время дорого. Рассказывай.
Michael Savage. That's a good gun. The plain old RPK, the old one. Tempted to buy one of these. Axes are now available, but I'm not going to get one just yet. Simply because of the weight compared to a knife. I might consider getting one of these for the radiation protection. Sergeant Mers. He just wants to go to the wild territory. He always asks for bandit patches, monolith patches, or freedom patches.
Ну,
What the? What just happened there?
слышали?
You change your mind? You
Чего
don't...
расскажешь хорошего?
Вот это да.
Какой умер? Кого излияние в мозг?
Well, he's the one who ended that conversation. This guy. What? Stop doing that. Everybody, stop doing that.
Ну, здорово.
A construction site. The construction site. Okay, sure. Switch this for this. Are you in there? Where did you... Oh. Ugh. I'll do this later.
Как-то мои. Что-то.
You make decisions and you live with them. I hope I don't regret this one. Let's just see how it goes. At least he can keep up with me. He doesn't seem very well equipped. Roadkill. I've never noticed before that this type of mission doesn't show up on your PDA itinerary. It's a cool looking duty armor. I'm not going all the way to Yantar, so you might be wondering why I brought that cell with me. I could have just stashed it back in Rostock. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I swear I didn't even think about that. Although I can't prove it, you're just going to have to trust me. My alignment remains lawful neutral. And it didn't hurt my reputation. Here's where I was going to stash that cell. But now that doesn't seem necessary. That didn't hurt my reputation with duty, did it? It doesn't look like it did. Well, now I have to hang around here and see how this goes. Yeah, he's got a Galil. Granato. And look at that, the first grenade launcher I get is a GP25. That's never happened before. I don't think I've ever gotten a grenade launcher this early on, and it's... No, scratch that. I have once before, and it was an M203. Bison. Galil. There is a short barrel 5.56 Galil Ace 21, which counts as a Recon scout weapon. This is the first time I've ever found a GP25 out in the wild before having found an M203 out in the wild, if I recall. maybe I can make use of its parts. If I was playing the game normally, or if I was playing as an assaulter, I would now have one of my favorite combinations of weapons. An AK-74 GP25 paired up with a Galil. But that would be impractical with this basic bitch backpack. This trip wasn't entirely pointless. Did I leave anything in here? I don't think so, no. Stamina, stamina. Always stamina. There are sometimes anomalies here, like I definitely recall an electro sometimes forming right over there. It figures the first time I do a specialized run where I'm not allowed to use the GP25, that I would find a GP25. That's just exactly the sort of thing that would happen to me. Just like FRAPS betraying me twice in a row. And here I have to sell it. It's what everyone else does anyway. Everyone except Null Moxie and me. Everyone else sells their grenade launchers and every 40 mil they find. I mean, that's fine. You're handicapping yourself, but that's your prerogative. It's pronounced prerogative, or that's how most people say it, but it's spelled prerogative. I'll keep the NATO one. I think I'll go ahead and buy a pair of binoculars. I might spend the night at Freedom HQ. Freedom's HQ. Any other delivery missions I can pick up along the way? Or while I'm here, I should say. Now I need to decide whether I want to replace my Glock with a Beretta or a Grok. Grok or Grosh. Whichever is the correct pronunciation. So I will leave the cell here. I can sell this. take this. Skin flint. Crafting. Things that can be busted down for crafting purposes.
Спокойно. Чек.
I should buy some vodka from Barkeep. See what time it is. 20:49. Isn't Blade Runner 2 called Blade Runner 2049? And I referenced Blade Runner earlier this episode. Well, I'm doing fairly well.
Подходи, сталкер.
Тебе сюда нельзя.
У меня всегда есть кое-что интересное.
I don't have
Чего расскажешь,
as
Каруш?
much money
Ну что, дружище, как оно?
as I did during the first timeline. By this point, I had over 100,000 rubles.
Вот
Ну, привет.
Ну, здорово. Ну что стоишь? Давай, подходи.
I can always do these sorts of things. I could stash my vodka in there. Instead of having to trudge back to that one cubby hole, if that's what you call it. Or I could stash it in here. Now, will I remember that I put that in there, though? Time to finally deliver this. That's a good-looking skybox. An evening skybox. I don't want to use up my energy drink till I'm in army warehouses. Ah, such a slog. Such a miserable, tedious slog. So I got my mitts on a GP25 before ever getting my mitts on an M203. Every experience I've had before would suggest that the M203 is about twice as common as the GP25.
Чего расскажешь хорошим?
I'll go ahead and use up my... Oh. Just get it over with. You just had to... yeah. Just take the damn energy drink and chug it. Don't bother talking to that guy. If he offers a mission, it'll be a different one, and it might be worth doing, but I no longer care. There's a... Oh! Freedom versus Bureaus. Freedom versus bureaucrats.
Ну рассказывай, я весь внимание.
Finally, I'm no longer dragging around this heavy burden. Not quite 5 figures for that, but I probably shouldn't expect 5 figures for that. Now that's a decent chunk of change for this type of thing. I'm going to let the battery run out on my PDA. Yeah. My Goodwill scores are more spread out now than they were on the first timeline. $10676. Selling these things. $72086. Not bad, not bad. He was probably talking about one of his buddies. Sorry, dead man. When he said, sorry, dead man.
Look!
I wonder if those are both missions to rescue the same guy. I don't feel up to the task.
Ты рассказать чего хочешь, что ли?
I might on occasion craft ammo, but don't count on it being very often.
Эй, сталкер, с чем пожаловал?
Oh, this guy's an ex-merc. I don't think I've ever realized that before.
Слушай, не грузи, а? Вон главный стоит, его и спрашивай.
What have you got there? What's that? SG-550. And you have a S.T.A.L.K.E.R AUG.
Чувак, иди вон лучше с главным пообщайся.
Trigger Grice. The yellow kind of undoes the purpose of the camo. Eye-catching, but well, maybe that's what you want in the zone, so that so everybody sees you, they know who you are, unless you're a spy, of course. G36K counts as a Recon scout weapon. This sort of thing isn't my problem, unless they become monolith. Then I'll consider doing that kind of mission. Too far north, for now anyway. Oh, I might actually be able to do this, as the second timeline proved. Episode 4, Mark 2. I'd have to gear up for it. Oh, I have half a mind to do this. This would make for a fun and interesting next episode. Oh. Gaslight, eh? East of the road to Jupiter. I think that would mean close to Forrester's place, which would mean I'd have to hike through the actual woods part of the Red Forest. Oh, this would give me a chance to potentially score an M203. You know what? I'll go for broke. And in order to facilitate my capabilities, I might buy a 1P29 tulip scope. But I'll make that decision sometime later. Sometime in the morning. I might as well do a little shopping before I go to sleep. Are you selling a tulip scope? No, of course not. But Krinkov is. I don't feel like going all the way back over there. .545 FMJ. Well, I'll buy 1 mag's worth. 1.5 mags worth. Now I have exactly 200 fresh rounds of .545 FMJ. Plus 1 mag loaded. I'll sell this. 2 Freedom's Medic.
Все правильно, чувак.
Здорово!
Ну, я сходу врубаюсь, отвечаю. А я за 6. А я за 5. За 4. За 1. Нифига себе, думаю, как это он собирается осуществить? Ну, говорю, давай, действуй. А этот крендель спокойно так снимает с пояса гранату и шлет ее под забор.
And I regained a good portion of what I just spent. Which means if I wanted to, I could spend some more. It's not yet midnight. I usually like to go to sleep around midnight. I think I will go back to Colonel Petrenko. And buy a tulip scope. Oh, also, Episode 4 Mark 1, the game crashed. But it didn't corrupt any of my hard saves, or quick saves, or auto saves. I had a hard save, a quick save, and an auto save, and nothing got corrupted.
Чего расскажешь?
I see you. I see you. I can't wait till the hobo phase is truly over and done with. I do still consider myself a hobo. Still consider myself a hobo with a Krinkov. I'm street trash. There's a sequel to Street Trash. And it's called Street Trash. What's the deal with that trend? It's not a new trend. It's been this way for decades. It's like they have something against putting numbers in titles. Can someone explain it to me, please? Just put the numbers. Red Letter Media is right. Just put the numbers. James Rolfe is right. Just put the numbers in there. We want the numbers. I'll go over here and get my vodka and all out of energy drinks. I've got this. It doesn't have that much protein. Not enough that it would be like what spinach is to Popeye. Ugh. And Popeye eats that awful canned spinach that's had all the nutrients and flavors stripped out of it. If you're going to eat spinach, eat real, authentic, organic, salad quality garden spinach. I need to see how much it costs to repair. A Beretta 92. This and this are to take back to Yantar. I could go ahead and start breaking these down. The jacket I started with. Ski mask that'll make your face hot if you wear it out of season. Still haven't found basic tools. I wonder just how many of the other kind I'll come across before ever finding one set of basic tools. Now I'll stash some ammo.
Порадовал, порадовал.
I'll see how much the repair costs are on all of these. Closing in on midnight. It's your one-way ticket to midnight.
О, привет!
Not bad, not bad. Not bad, not bad. Eh. Eh. I might consider fixing up. Well, we'll just have to see.
Бывай!
In one of the previous timelines, I also found an underbarrel grenade launcher modification that would have been perfect for either an LR300 or an M4A1. Which shouldn't really need an upgrade to be able to accept a grenade launcher, but whatevs. Now, do I want the cheaper 1P29 Tulip scope or the somewhat lighter weight PSO1 scope?
Какие новости, сталкер?
That's kind of hefty for a scope. 0.8 kilogram. 8470 versus, and yes, it's versus, not verse, 8195. That's a negligible difference in price. This is the one I sold him, I think. Decisions. Well, you make decisions and you live with them. I do believe I can live with this. And it's midnight. What's that? You make decisions and you live with them. I heard that in a movie. That's why I keep saying that. But I can't remember what movie it was. Just after 8 o'clock. 5:12, 26:22. I'll let the battery drain on this. Let's see how much it has left. Yep, I'll let the battery drain on this, and I'll change the battery, and then I'll call it. Koshai. Different spelling, but Koshai was also the name of the final boss in Oblivion Lost. That's a Slavic legend, right? Koshai. That's where that name comes from. Igorka Crowbar. Well, there we go. I'll go ahead and put a fresh one in there. Do not save over failsafe hard save 1D. This will be failsafe hard save 1E, and it will be a failsafe for episode 5. And then I'll make one beyond that, and then a quick save, and there we go. Till next time, catch you on the flip side.